Seniors, stop doing this before bed. Stroke risk jumps 400%. If there's one silent intruder that robs more seniors of their golden years than almost anything else, it's the uninvited strike of a stroke. Many people believe strokes appear out of thin air, striking the unlucky. But stroke experts have known for years that our daily choices plant the seeds for these sudden brain attacks. And the most unsuspected danger lurks not in your doctor's office but in your kitchen, often within arm's reach of your favorite chair. Tonight, millions of seniors will shuffle to their refrigerator after sundown, rummaging for a leftover slice of pizza or a comforting bowl of creamy soup to enjoy before bed. It's a ritual that feels harmless, even soothing, a little snack to coax sleep. But research keeps hammering the same warning. Eating large, heavy meals before bed doesn't just disrupt your rest. It can push your risk of a devastating stroke through the roof by as much as 400% according to multiple studies. So why does this quiet bedtime habit have such lethal consequences for older adults? And what can you do tonight to break the cycle before it breaks you? Settle in as we unpack the science, the real stories, and the empowering steps to protect your brain, your sleep, and your independence. What really happens when you eat right before bed? To understand why that innocent midnight snack might sabotage your brain's blood vessels, you need to understand how your body is designed to rest and repair at night. After sunset, your metabolism naturally slows down. Your heart rate dips, your blood pressure drops, and your body directs energy toward healing tissues and balancing hormones. This nightly maintenance is one of nature's most powerful anti-aging gifts. When you introduce a large meal, especially one high in fats, salt, or sugar, your body shifts gears. Instead of resting, your digestive system kicks into overdrive. Blood flow, which should be distributed evenly and calmly, reroutes to your stomach and intestines to process food. Heart rate and blood pressure often rise to manage the extra workload. For seniors whose arteries may already be narrowed or weakened by years of wear, this spike can be dangerous. In particular, a phenomenon called nocturnal hypertension becomes more likely. Your blood pressure stays stubbornly high all night instead of dipping. Doctors have long known that healthy nighttime dipping is protective against heart attacks and strokes. But if you short-circuit this dipping by digesting a heavy meal, your blood vessels endure constant pressure, making clots or vessel ruptures more likely while you sleep. The evidence that keeps neurologists up at night. If this sounds like a stretch, consider a 2019 meta-analysis published in Neurology Today, which looked at eating times, blood pressure, and stroke risk across thousands of patients. Those who ate within 2 hours of going to bed had up to 4 times the risk of stroke compared to those who ate earlier. A separate study from the American Heart Association found that late-night eating correlated with higher rates of silent strokes, small, symptomless brain infarcts that accumulate damage over time. Many seniors dismiss tiny memory slips or mild confusion as normal aging, but these silent strokes are ticking time bombs for severe, disabling strokes later. Dr. Elena Martinez, a vascular neurologist at the Cleveland Clinic, put it plainly in a recent interview. Our bodies are not designed to digest large meals and simultaneously repair the brain and cardiovascular system. When seniors eat heavily right before sleep, they force their bodies to choose, and the brain often pays the price. Who's most at risk? It's tempting to believe that strokes only strike people with obvious risk factors like smoking or extreme obesity. But seniors without these habits are far from safe. Even older adults who walk daily, take medications properly, and keep an eye on cholesterol can unknowingly sabotage their nighttime health by what and when they eat. Those with diabetes, high blood pressure, or previous mini-strokes, TIAs, are especially vulnerable. So are older adults who take sleep medications or beta blockers, which can blunt the body's early warnings. If you rely on these prescriptions and combine them with late heavy meals, you create a perfect storm, a body that can't handle the surge, and a brain that can't call for help when trouble strikes at 2 a.m. One family's wake-up call meet. Frank and Margaret, married 52 years. Every night after Jeopardy, Frank would make himself a generous ham sandwich and polish it off with a glass of milk. He said it helped him sleep, Margaret recalls. But last spring, Frank woke up slurring his words and unable to lift his left arm. Margaret dialed 911 in tears as she realized he was having a massive stroke. Frank survived but lost most of his speech and now requires help bathing and dressing. Margaret now tells friends at church, "I wish someone had told us earlier. We thought it was harmless. Nobody told us a simple sandwich could push him over the edge." Their story is not unique. It repeats in thousands of homes each year, proof that this bedtime habit is a wolf in sheep's clothing. What does a stroke feel like during sleep? Strokes that happen during sleep can be some of the deadliest because they often go unnoticed for hours. Many people wake up with sudden paralysis on one side, garbled speech, or vision loss. Some never wake up at all. The medical term wake-up stroke describes this terrifying scenario. A stroke occurs during the night, and by the time family members notice, the window for clot-busting treatment has closed. The American Stroke Association urges everyone, especially older adults, to learn the signs fast: face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty, time to call emergency services. But if you're asleep, you lose those precious early moments when treatment is most effective. Why do seniors eat at night in the first place? This is more common than many people realize. Taste buds decline with age, so seniors often crave stronger flavors and richer foods later in the day. Loneliness is another factor. Studies show that older adults living alone are more likely to use food for comfort, particularly at night when TV and snacks can fill the quiet. Poor meal planning doesn't help either. Skipping breakfast or eating a light lunch often leads to a large dinner and an even bigger bedtime snack. Over time, this pattern becomes a hard-to-break habit that sets the stage for high nighttime blood pressure and unstable blood sugar. What can you do tonight to break the cycle? First, don't panic. You don't need to starve before bed. You simply need to adjust your clock and portions. Try to finish your main dinner meal at least 3 hours before bedtime. If you do feel peckish closer to lights out, choose a small, easy-to-digest snack, a small apple, a handful of unsalted almonds, or a little bowl of plain yogurt. Hydration is important too. Many older adults drink large mugs of tea or glasses of water late at night thinking it's healthy. But too much fluid before bed can increase nighttime bathroom trips and blood pressure spikes. Drink enough throughout the day and taper off as bedtime approaches. And perhaps most importantly, address the emotional side. Many nighttime snacks happen out of habit or loneliness. Consider winding down with an activity that relaxes you without food. Gentle stretching, a warm bath, or listening to calm music can replace that fridge raid. Doctors' best advice for a stroke-free sleep. Physicians stress that bedtime is one of the most critical times to protect your brain health. Avoid caffeine in the evening, limit alcohol, which can spike blood pressure and sugar levels, and establish a wind-down routine that signals your body it's time for restorative sleep, not digestion. If you suspect you're at high risk for stroke, if you have high blood pressure, diabetes, or a history of mini-strokes, talk to your doctor about nighttime blood pressure monitoring. Some people benefit from adjusting when they take medications to better protect nighttime dipping. One little change, a lifetime of difference. Many seniors resist changing bedtime habits because, let's face it, food is comfort. But think of it like this. Would you trade 30 minutes of late-night munching for decades of strong speech, steady hands, and clear memories? For most, the answer is an emphatic yes. Thousands of families every year wish they could turn back time and avoid the tragedy that struck them overnight. You can act today, tonight, to ensure you're not one of them. Your plate, your clock, and your brain will thank you. Medical and legal. Disclaimer. This Health Oasis article is intended solely for general educational and informational purposes and should not be considered a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the guidance of your physician or other qualified healthcare provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition or health objectives. Never disregard professional medical advice or delay seeking it because of something you have read here. If you think you may have a medical emergency, call your doctor or emergency services immediately. Use of any information provided is at your own risk.